Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, we will talk about CSS. So it is a follow-up to the previous video of HTML and CSS. And in this video, we will try to cover up the basic and essential part of CSS, which is very much required in, you can say, every bit of page or websites. So what is CSS and the full form? We will cover it all. So CSS, right? So what is CSS? First of all, the full form is Cascading Styling Sheet. So what it does is like it's like, think of like what I told you earlier, that HTML is just the skeleton, right? So what the CSS does is that it helps you to decorate the skeleton, in the sense that, let's say you have a website, and in the website you have, let's say you have a heading to put, and a paragraph to put, and an image to put, fine, and a video to put. But how do you want it to look like? Because it's not that you just want it in a random, in a single way, but you might find that, okay, I want heading here, I want paragraph here, I want the image this big and here, and maybe video, I just give a small window. So all of this is done how? This is done with the help of CSS. So moving on, CSS, as I told you, that it is used for the styling of the website, but there are like three different types of CSS. So naming them will be actually internal, external, and inline. So what it is like? So internal, external, all of them are CSS only, but these are the methods or the ways in which you give CSS to your website. Fine. So we will talk about this also, and to show you what the difference are in between, let's jump to our code editor. So for this, I will be using Visual Studio Code, and there is a empty HTML file. So let me just give it, just anything. Let's say CSS. Fine, I gave the title as CSS. So what happens is that, let's give a heading H1, hello world. So to do this particular, to give styling to this H1, there are three types. Fine. So the first is, I told you about internal. So what does internal do is that you simply go here, write style, and you create an element of style. So now if I just put it like H1 and give it, let's say, color red. So I will open this up in my live server, and for this you can find this on the extension. You see what happened? The hello world is in red color. So what is this thing? This is the internal CSS syntax. Fine. Okay, just give me here. Internal. So this is the internal part. Now external. Before doing external, let's try inline. Let me comment it out. And to do inline, what I'll do, style, color, blue. Let's check. Now you see it is blue color. So this is a type of inter inline CSS. Let me write it down here. Then it will be inline CSS. Okay. So as you can see, what happened that in internal, what we do, we create an element in which we give all the CSS properties and all the things. And in inline, what we do, we just mention it in the tag itself, the style and all the things as a properties for the cascading. Now moving on to the external. So in while doing external, there is a small bit of change. What is that? Let me tell you. So right now what I'll do, I will just remove this thing, or let's say let me just cut it. I will paste it down here and I will comment it out. So while doing external, what we need to do, we what we will stay in the folder, click here as a new file, and I will write style.css. In this way we will create a file for the cascading as, and it will have the extension of .css. Next is, now I let's say the h1, right? So I will write h1 and then I will give color green. Let's see what happens. Well, you can see that nothing is happening, right? So why is that so? Because we haven't yet connected the HTML file with it. Okay. So what I'll do to connect it is that I will go back to page, and to link this I will go back to our index file and write in the head. Fine, I will what do, I will write link, and I will share, press tab. What it will do, link relation rel as style sheet. So this is a style sheet, the style.css and href, which means we have to link the file. So for that, what I'll do, I will put dot slash and I will select style.css. Now let's go back and check what happens. See, now the hello world has turned to hello green color, right? So this is the way of doing external CSS. External. So I hope this is clear, and you understood the difference between all the three things, right? So moving on, what I'll tell you about some of the few basics properties which are needed. But before that, let me show you something. Right here, as you can see, the link is given here, right? So what happens if I uncomment this? Let's check it out. You see the hello world gets red. Why is that so? Because when the website is getting load, it will start from one, second, third, fourth, fifth line, like this way, and the seventh line will execute first, then the ninth line, which results that in after the color of h1 is turned to green, again the color has turned to red. Now let's do something. I will uncomment this, I will copy it and paste it here. Let's see what happens now. So what do you think? See, it got blue. Why is that so? Because first, in the seventh line, the hello world got turned to green. In the 10th line, it got red. And in the 15th line, it got blue. So this is like it approach. So we can understand that it approaches a drop down method. It is in the drop down way of doing things, right? So the best way is to do the external linking and try to avoid inline css if it is not necessary, and the internal css is your choice, but it is better to do it in external css. So I'll just remove it and remove this also. Okay then. So so now let's work with our some, some few of the properties. So you just saw the color, right? So now let's do something background color, and I will put it as, let's say, light blue. Let's check what happens. Now you can see that the H1 is, the letters are green but the background is blue, light blue, but you can see that it is containing the whole width. Why is that so? So if I go and inspect the page, I will click here, and I can see that the H1 takes the whole. You can see there are some default things which is given here, which means that you can see the font size is 2 rem by default, display is blocked by default, and the margin is given there, and so many other sorts of things are there. So there is this thing which you have to keep in mind, that you have to work in such a way so that the H1 doesn't take this much area or that much area. It's all up to you. Fine. So so now moving on, let's try out some other properties also. So let's do this. So there is one more thing which makes it look better, as in text. You can see when I write text, there is align, there is decoration, there is transform, and you can see if I do text decoration, and just a second. Let's, instead of text decoration, let's show you text shadow. Yeah, that would be better. 2x 2px 2px black. So what is this? You can see a shadow has been created. So here you can see the black is, okay, fine, the black is the color. So what is 2px 2px? It is like x and y coordinate, and px is equal to pixel. So there are different ways of giving, there are different ways of giving the, the amount of the properties, which means that, let's say, there is, what do you say, there is px, there is rem, there is em, and other all sorts of things. So px is very much rigid, it's like pixels. And if you want, you can try rem and em. What it does, that, let's say, uh, one pixel is six, oh sorry, rem one rem is equal to 16 pixel, right? So if you want, you say, the 8 pixel, you can simply write 0 0.5 rem. And there is one interesting fact about em, is that it takes, let's say, if you have given something as 16 pixel already, or 16, let's say, you just give a unit of 16, fine, as a initial or a default value, and you use 0.5 rem, 0.5 em. So what it will do, it will take absolute half of the 16. And it is not only with 16. If you give as default, let's say, 18, then 0.5 will give you absolute half, which will be eventually 9. So this is the, you can say, the plus point of doing the rem and em thing. Okay, moving on. So what are all things you can think of? Let's say there is padding. Padding is like, let me tell you how this happens. 10px. Okay, so in this way you won't be able to get. Let me show you something else. So if I just come, instead of commenting out, let me tell you that you can see there is a small, you can say, space upside and downward, right? And on the left side also, and on the right side too, there is small margin, you can say, or anything you can say. So for that, what you do, this is a very important step, and I would prefer you to do it every time when you are creating a web page. Use this star, margin 0, padding 0. And just in case, if you are thinking about the things which you are putting, you want it in your mm, display only, you don't want it to overflow, then you can do as a overflow hidden. Fine. So whatever happens, see the changes. Now you see the extra margin and padding which was there, it went away. Now in this way you will be able to understand the difference between margin and padding. See what happens when I give a margin. Let me. So what happens that, let's say you have this box and it is at this area. Fine. And it is this much away from this side and this much away from this side. When you give margin, let's say top you give, it is let's say 5, and you give top 10 margin. So what it will happen, the box will shift here and it will get 10. This is margin. But if you give padding, let me write it down. So what happens that, let's say again, let me create a box. It is there. So let me tell you that from bottom it is 5 here. Okay. And let me give it a bit zoom. So right here you can see that the 5 is this much, let's say. Okay. And you give a padding of 10. So what will happen, it will just get bigger, but the point will stay here only. So it will go this way and it will get bigger. So what happens that the new position will have a padding of 10 on the top. Let me show you with the help of code. So let's see here. Let's try with margin. Margin top 20 pixel. You see, it got down 20 pixel. But if I give padding top instead of 20, let me give you bigger number to observe it better. You see, it gives the padding inside the element. So margin and padding, in a very simple word you can say that giving distance with the if you are giving distance outside the element, then you will use margin, and if you want to give distance or increase the distance inside the element, then you will use padding. Okay. So that's it for this small part. Moving on is that, let's say you have another h1. Hello people. Fine. Now what happens that both are getting the same styling, right? But you want this thing to be different. So for that, what we use, we can use with the help of division and classes. So classes, and also there is called this thing as identifiers or index values, right? So let me write it down. So now we will talk about divisions. And divisions is very much useful to create classes or id. So difference between class and id is that classes can be more can be like more than one or equal to one, but id can always be one. Always one. Always. So if you create an id of same name, you cannot create same similar id with the same name again, but you can create similar classes again and again. So let's do this with the help of class right now. Okay, so what I'll do, I will give it instead of h1, with the h1 I will give it a class of, let's say, first. So to select this h1 first, what should you do? There is one simple way, is that if you are confused, we can always open up the inspect element and click here and put hover over it, and you can see it is written h1 dot first, right? So either you can do this, or simply you can go here and write first. Why is that so? It's because there is only one first right now in the first class, in right now in the whole HTML file. So let's say I give it a color of yellow and background black. Fine. And red. Let's see. No changes happen. Why is that so? It's because when we declare the class, we always need to put a dot sign, a dot. Now let's check. Yeah, right there. So now it's good. Right. So this is the thing which we can get help with the help of divisions. And of course, as I told you about id, so for id what we do is that h1, okay, and I'll write id, and then let's say second. And to select the id of second, we do not give dot, we give hashtag and give second. Now let's say color gate blue. Let's check it. See, now it's happening good. Fine. So this is the thing with the styling. And another thing is that you have to keep in mind the specificity. And to help you with the specificity, I can show you with the help of, there is a thing of the calculator. Let me show you. So specificity is like, let's say right now it is very simple, right? Because whatever you are seeing, it is very simple. But it might happen that there are many classes, attributes, and pseudo classes are there, and you have to rank them in order to select them. So in order to rank them, you give them a specificity. As you can see, right here, there is no id, so id is 0. There is class 1, and elements of pseudo class is 3, like a, hover, and before. So the score is 13. But here you can see the ul, here you can see id is 1, primary nav, classes 2, 1 active, and elements are 2, ui and li. So this will have the power of 112. So which is bigger, 13 or 112? 112. So what it means that 112 will have the higher rank in order to get the, you can say, the styling of things. You will understand when the things will get more interesting, and it will be more complicated with more and more pseudo classes, ids, and attributes. So moving on, we will talk about some other things, as you know, the positions and all. Fine. So what happens that let's say here, let's create a button first. Button, button. Okay. So to work with button, what I'll do, and one more thing, you must have seen that h1 I haven't given one is because h1 is a tag itself, it's not a class. So in order to select button, I will simply write button. So let me see if the button is there or not. Yes, it is there. So let me remove that. Okay, cool. So let's work with button in order to make you understand what happens to all the things. Fine. So let's see, let me first of all give it a padding. So 15 pixel, 20 pixel means 15 is top button, 20 is left and right. Okay, and similarly margin top 50. Okay, cool. Now what is the things are there are different types of giving positions and float and all the stuff, right? So let's say you want the button to be in the, it's right now in the left side, you want it in the right side. So to give it, you can either do it like giving it a float. So float value, what happens that you can either give it a inline and start left, right, none. So I will give right. So what happens, see, the button just got shifted to right. But if I give it a, let's say, uh, as a, let's say, working with flex. So flex is a very strong things. There are few things which you must work out with the css, is that first is float, then is flex, and there is grid. Let me tell you, the flex is very much powerful. It gives you very much of responsiveness in the sense that, let's say you have a page of this big and you want the heading right here. So what happens if you create the page this big? You still want the heading to be in the center. So with the help of flex, it is very much possible. Or let's say you have a website of this big and you have two elements right here and here. Fine, the distance is here, the distance is here and all. And when the page gets shorter, you still want distance between them. So the flex will help you to make them smaller and the distance will remain same. It will maintain the aspect ratio. So in order to work with display, let's try as I will, what I'll do, I will create a div of class, let's say btn, and I will put the button right inside. Okay, so what happened, nothing changed. But if I go and select btn and put display as flex, nothing happened. But if I just give it a justify content center, see, it got just in the between. And the best thing about flex is that if I just get it smaller, it will maintain its aspect ratio. See, it is still in the center. And there is one more thing, of course, you can give it a flex direction, let's say column, then it will, what happened that it is now maintaining the center from in a vertical way, which means that the default value is row. So all the things are like this in the website. So when I give it a center, the button was here and it was taking this much area. And when I changed it to column, what happened, the page got turned like this, and now button is taking the whole area, this thing. Fine, I hope this clears. And there are other properties with like this only, aligning the things. And the best thing about these are that you have to work your own, you have to be creative. Because let's say the button is there, right? So let me give it a color first of all, background color. Let's say I am giving a background color this. Now I will show you using some pseudo classes. which means like, let's say I what happens if I want to hover over it. Let's say when I hover over it, I want it to look, let's say chocolate. Okay, now go back here. Now let's see my cursor. When I hovered over it, it changed the color. Fine. Now what is happening that now I want the cursor to be pointer. Now when I hover over it, the cursor will change to a finger, like this. And there is other pseudo classes also. Let's say active. So what active does is like, when the when the element is active, when I'm clicking on it, then it will change its color. Let's show. Now it is blue, or whatever the color is. When I hover over it, it changed to chocolate, and when I click on it, it changed to crimson. So these all are the pseudo classes. And just be remember that, just keep in remember that there are many things which you can do with the help of CSS. Because when you are working with CSS, you have to do your R&D, you have to research and develop, you have to understand how the things are working, where the things are should be aligned, the alignments, the responsiveness, and all the things are there in this. And if I try to name some of these, you can, let's say, right here, you can link your images in the CSS. Okay, then you can give it, you can color the everything, you can give box shadows. There are some scroll bar properties. There is grid. Fine. And there is some responsive properties, in the sense giving a max width and max height, like, so there are many other things like, media queries, which is known as media queries basically. Yes. So there are many other things, right, like this. You just have to work on it and understand more and more in order to get a better hold of yourself. So yeah, thank you. This would be all for this video.